Ladies and gentlemen, hi, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, from wherever you might be tuning in from right now. Welcome to another exclusive episode right here on, of course, Relax Media, Relax Radio, and Relax TV. Wherever you're watching us from, just know that we always have nothing but the best lined up for you. But hi, how you guys doing? Hope you're having a great time as always, whether you are behind your phones right now, whether you're maybe behind your computer screens, watching from your smart TV, it does not matter. Relax Media and Relax Radio always transcends frequencies. But of course, with that said, we got to make sure we get into the nitty-gritty details of what exactly is going to make sure takes place today. I hope you're all having a great time as always. We have, special guests on board the show today. But of course, I want to let you all know that we're here today celebrating the birth of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah, and of course, understanding what the Bahai community is all about and making sure that we apply the love and the message that the Bahai community has for us, especially during times that we are living through right now in the world. We'd like to go ahead and welcome Mrs. Suhana Akhand, Mr. Rahim Sarwar, Mr. Hushman Badi, and Mrs. Lauren Fernandez. Hi, how are you all doing today? Welcome. Joining me from different parts of the world, huh? It's crazy how technology just brings us together, yet humanity is just so far away from each other right now, isn't it? Mrs. Sohana, how are you doing?
Great to have you here, and we're happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. It's always great to have you on board, and it's our pleasure having you on board today. Mrs. Sohana, I'd like to go ahead and start the conversation off with you because it's always very interesting and it always gets everybody else, pumped up as well for the rest of the conversation. So what I'd like to do is just straight up go ahead and ask you the question. Okay, now we are celebrating the birth of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah. Now, of course, the Bahai community, it does teach us a lot of things. It teaches us how to spread love, how to look out for one another, how to look over racial differences, cultural differences, and to simply just make sure we show love to one another. Now, as always, it's easier said than done. Am I right? Like you can say it. You can say, hey, spread love, spread the peace. But does that really help when you say it? I mean, does saying it have the positive reinforcement, or do you actually need to make sure you go out there and get it done? What do you think, Mrs. Sohan?
Well, first, you have to start with that. We have to remind ourselves to spread the love and faith, and also to go out there and be of service. So we do a lot of activities here that promote that. Homeless service projects, for example, going out cleaning the environment. So these are some of the examples that we have and we do in order to spread the service. And that way we are spreading love. It's all about cooperation. It's all about bringing unity. And part of the Baha'i faith is about unity. That's a primary focus of ours. Aside from our three principles, which is oneness of religion, oneness of humanity, and that's oneness of God. So yes, we do need more than just love, because you have to be active, not only in the faith, but also in the community overall, to bring about the love and spread the love.
Right. So, what I would like to actually just straight away go ahead and ask you. Now, we were just talking about it before we came on live too. The world right now could use a lot of love, huh? Like, I'm sure everybody, all about the guests also agree with me. The world right now could use a lot of love. And it's tough. It's tough seeing humanity go through this right now when we've come to a position or a point in our lives in humankind that we are so technologically advanced that we're still, here fighting over petty things. But you're tuning into us right now from the United States of America.
Right.
And obviously a country that has a lot to do with everything going on in the world right now. The Bahai community, how do they feel about the United States' involvement in the current affairs of what's going down in Israel and Palestine?
Well, one of the things we have to remember is we need to be a community. And that's one of the best things about where I am as a Baha'i in the U.S. to develop that community. I'd like to actually share a prayer on humanity that we've been using in our community, as well as the UK, as well as Bangladesh. So it's about a prayer for humanity. I'll read it. O thou kind Lord, thou hast created all humanity from the same stock. Thou hast decreed that all shall belong to the same household. In thy holy presence, they are all thy servants, and all are sheltered beneath thy tabernacle. All have gathered together at this table of bounty, all are illumined through the light of thy providence. O God, thou art kind to all. Thou hast provided for all, dost shelter all, conferrest life upon all. Thou hast endowed each and all with talents and faculties, and all are submerged in the ocean of thy mercy. O thou kind Lord, unite us. Let the religions agree and make the nations one, so that they may see each other as one family and the whole earth as one home. May they all live together in perfect harmony. O God, raise aloft the banners of the oneness of humanity. O God, establish the most great peace. Cement thou, O Lord, our hearts together. O thou kind God, gladden our hearts through the fragrance of thy love. Brighten our eyes through the light of thy guidance. Delight our ears with the melody of thy word, and shelter us all in the stronghold of thy providence. Thou art the mighty and the powerful. Thou art the forgiving, and thou art the one who overlooketh the shortcomings of all humanity. This was a prayer that was recited by Abdul Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah. So a lot in this prayer itself that we see the oneness of humanity. We see that religions need to agree and nations need to become one. And we cannot just stand here and not do something about it. So we want to make the nations whole. We want to remember that there is a higher power who's looking at us to do something about it. But we are using God's guidance through Baha'u'llah to remember that we are part of this great world.
You know, what's amazing about that prayer is that it wasn't really just something that was passed down from generation to generation. I'm not obviously putting anything else that was passed down from generation to generation, below, but we know where this prayer came from. It's literally from the son of Baha'u'llah, and it's crazy because it's literally his father who showed us how to pretty much go ahead and spread the message of, love, because as the prayer says, we are not really, it doesn't end here, does it? I mean, it doesn't really stop in this life. There is something that comes after. And as much as all of us would love to just go ahead and understand what it is, and even though it is quite hard to comprehend, we do need to have that faith that, we do believe in what comes next. So without, of course, going more into this with you, Mrs. Sohana, I'm going to go ask a few more questions from the rest of our guests, who I'm sure are anxiously and eagerly awaiting us to pretty much go ahead and begin. I'm going to go ahead and obviously stick to ladies first, as always. This is what a gentleman would do. Mrs. Lauren, hi, how are you doing right now? And could you please let me know and let everybody else know where you are broadcasting to, or where you're broadcasting from right now?
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. From the States. Hello.
Yes, hi.
How are you doing? How's everything going over there?
Very fine. It's mid-morning here.
Okay. Have you and Mrs. Sohana met yet? Except for right now here on this chat.
Yeah. Yes.
You guys have? Okay. So how come you're not together right now, making sure we have this conversation, as a team? But that's okay. That's amazing. That's perfect. Thank you so much as always for being here, Mrs. Lauren Fernandez. Mrs. Lauren, could you please introduce us to yourself, as this is the first time that you're actually being broadcasted live on Relaks Media?
Well, I didn't mean to be broadcast live. I just meant to join in.
Put in the spot as always, but hey, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Sona, please do go ahead and tell me a bit about yourself. So, as the Bahai community, what exactly have you been up to in New Mexico? I'm sure in the States they have a lot of different things going on in a lot of different areas. Mrs. Sohana is obviously attending to whatever she needs to. I'd like to know what you're attending to right now, and I'd like to know about that before I get into more about what's going on in the world and, the celebration of the birth of the Bahab and Baha'u'llah.
Oh, you want to know what's going on in the Bahai community in New Mexico?
Yes, of course. I'm sure the world would want to know.
Oh, well, in New Mexico, since I live in Albuquerque, we live in a fairly large community. We have about 350 Baha'is in Albuquerque itself.
Okay.
And then we have Baha'is throughout the state of New Mexico as well. We are a very active community. We do tremendous amount of service projects throughout the area here, and we work with youth and junior youth, and we just. I think Albuquerque, I think overall is a very happy Baha'i community because we are always trying to be of service to others.
Right. Okay. Youth gets involved, but what I'd like to know is how is the youth getting involved? Because getting the youth involved these days kind of seems like a tough thing to do, if I may say so. I mean, it's not as easy to get them from, back in the day, we'd all be forced to go outside and play, but now we play behind screens on the comfort of our own beds. How does it work getting the youth actively involved?
Well, I think you're right. I think it is tough to get youth involved because there's so many things that distract them in their day-to-day lives. One of the things that we do in Albuquerque is we work with an immigrant community, and it's a community of people who have come here from Africa. Their main language is Swahili. We are lucky enough to have someone in Albuquerque, a Bahai in Albuquerque, who is from Africa and who actually speaks Swahili. And so we have youth camps about every 3 months. And we have 30 to 40 youth that join in. Some of them are Bahai, some of them are not Baha'is. And they're able to do service projects. They're able to learn things about developing virtues in their lives, and basically being able to conduct themselves in a way that they have a better life.
Okay, so obviously not just getting them involved, but making sure we improve their lifestyles as well, which is what the Baha'i community is about. But okay, thank you for that insight into how the youth's getting involved. But these days, if you don't mind me asking, Mrs. Lauren, these days we do have a lot of youth getting involved from behind, their phones, their computers, and sharing their opinion on what's going on around the world. How's the youth of New Mexico pretty much reacting to the situation that's taking place right now between Israel and Palestine? The only reason I'm bringing that up right now is because that's what's happening right now. That's what we're seeing right now. I mean, we saw retaliation from the Palestinian community after, it's controversial, and I don't want to really get into too much controversy because we're trying to stay as neutral as possible, trying to make sure we spread that love. But how is the youth pretty much reacting to the current state of the situation between Israel and Palestine? And are the youth agreeing to what the government of the United States of America have to pretty much stand for in this situation? What's it like over there?
I actually cannot answer that question because I haven't talked to any youth about the situation
Okay.
that's taking place in Israel and Gaza. I used to live in Israel.
Right.
About 7 years. But one of the prime directives in the Baha'i faith is that we do not get involved in partisan politics. So while people may have their opinion, I wouldn't be going around necessarily and saying, "Oh, gee, what do you think about the Israeli-Gaza situation?" But I'm sure that the youth and adults as well have many opinions. But we just do not get involved in partisan politics. Necessarily discuss.
Well, we seem to have lost Mr. Lauren. As always, Mr. Lauren is back. Well, Mr. Lauren, thank you so much for your insight. I'm not going to keep, I'm not going to keep you here any longer than you actually need to be. I'm sure you're pretty much surprised, but of course your insight is great. But before you do go though, you said you lived in Israel. You said you were part of that community. What do you feel about what's taking place right now? And not from the side of Israel, not from the side of Palestine, but as a human being, what words would you like to share with our viewers right now on Relaks Media?
I'm very sorry about what is happening in Israel at this point. And like I said, I lived there for 7 years and I left there about 25 years ago. And things were not much different then than they are now. They're just worse now. And from the view of every human being has value, no matter what their race, no matter what their religion. It's a very sad situation that's happening right now. And it's hard, I think, not to take sides or to get involved in politics. But one needs to rise above that and look at everyone as a valued human being in this world.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your insights, Mrs. Lauren. Once again, thank you for being a part of the show on such short notice. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. But we're looking forward to perhaps seeing you again on Relaks Media. Thank you so much once again, and God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And of course, we'd like to move on to our next guest here on stage, anxiously waiting to pretty much go ahead and join in on the conversation. Mr. Rahim Sarwar, hi, how are you doing today? A very good morning, if I may say so, from where you're tuning in right now. Am I right?
Yeah, night, but maybe your good afternoon, I can say. In
Afternoon, right? Brilliant. Could you please go ahead and share a little bit about yourself to our listeners watching right now?
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Rahim, are you able to hear me? As always, technology just, playing the fool with us, especially when we're on live radio media. Huh? Mr. Rahim, all right, without further ado, I'm sure everybody watching knows who you are. And once again, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Mr. Rahim, could I please know about what exactly is going on within the Bahai community in your region right now? Anything new that our viewers could maybe look forward to or expect? Any new developments that you guys probably want to share? And any announcements that perhaps you might want to let us know about? Please do let us know.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
First of all, I want to bow down myself to my God, who created me and kept me healthy today and gave me the opportunity to participate in this event. And then I want to thank Relaks Radio for organizing this great event today and for giving me the opportunity to be part of this event. And also, I would like to warm greetings to the listeners and viewers of the Relaks Radio who are listening to us live now and will listen to or watch us later. And also, uh, I want to greet my co-guest and host you. So then in Bangladesh, we are also celebrating whole the world. Baha'is of the whole world are celebrating this auspicious occasion, this holy occasion, the twin holy birthdays. So Bangladesh also celebrating. So uh, uh, I am from Dhaka. I can say about. I want to say first about Dhaka. So in Dhaka city, uh, it's a cluster we call, and in our cluster we have 7 sector, and 7 sector individually organize uh, today night the celebration of birthday of Bab. And tomorrow the whole cluster, all the sectors are going to celebrate together in our centrally program. And for this occasion, we take uh, some initiatives like we have many programs here like junior youth program, children class. So uh, where this program are happening, there are also some celebration with children's of the children class, junior of the junior youth of the junior youth class, and also sector-wise, their Baha'is live and Baha'i with their neighbors. Those are not Baha'is; those are from many religions. So Baha'is invite them in their house to celebrate together this auspicious occasion. This is happening in uh, Dhaka. And if I say about whole Bangladesh, so whole Bangladesh, everywhere there Baha'i lived, they are also organizing uh, according to their capacity, according to their wish. All are celebrating this holy party.
Well, it's a party that the whole Baha'i community is definitely looking forward to. Not a party, if I may say so, but then again, it definitely is a celebration. Mr. Rahim, how is Bangladesh pretty much reaching out to the rest of the world to, spread the message of love, to spread the message of kindness, because that's the one important thing that everybody gets from the Baha'i community. What's up over there? Like, are y'all doing anything special now? Obviously, like you said, you're doing a lot of programs, a lot of events to get the youth involved, to get the Baha'i community more involved. But what are y'all doing to pretty much reach out to the borders outside of Bangladesh? And if I may say so, I'm not just talking about making sure we get the message across, but I'm sure Bangladesh is doing what they can to pretty much aid and support, countries that are pretty much in need of our aid and support, the Baha'i community's aid and support. So if you don't mind just, giving us a little bit of an insight on what exactly is taking place there, I'm sure we'd all love to know.
Sorry, I didn't understand your question.
As always, a little bit too fast and a little bit too slow. Well, that's okay. Mr. Rahim, what I basically wanted to know is Bangladesh as a country or as a Baha'i community, are you all pretty much going ahead and sending or supporting countries that currently need your aid and support in any way at all? And I'm not just talking about getting the message across or just sending them their love. Like, is there any actual hands-on physical aid being sent to any country of any sort, or is Bangladesh getting involved in something of that sort, or what could we expect?
Like Bangladesh Baha'i community.
Yes.
As far I know, Bangladesh community are not going to give any aid to any others countries, at least physical aid. If you ask, we are not going to give. But what we are doing here, we are actually uh, uh, educating people from child to adult, all kind of people. We are educating themselves, and what education we are giving, we call it moral education. And the basic themes of this education is oneness. The core principle of the Baha'i faith is three oneness. One is oneness of God, uh, another is oneness of mankind, and another is oneness of religion. So these three core principles we want to share with all the peoples of the world. So in Bangladesh, we are also doing the same things. Suppose I want to share some quotations from Baha'u'llah, uh, the core principle of oneness of religion. Suppose Baha'u'llah says, just there can be no doubt whatever that the people of the world, of whatever race or religion, derive their inspiration from one heavenly source and are the subject of one God. So Baha'u'llah says that maybe suppose now we people think that our race and our religion is different, but Baha'u'llah says if we think our race and our religion is different, though our inspiration, our inspiration derive from the same source. And another quotation Baha'u'llah says that it is clear and evident to thee that all the prophets are the temple of the cause of God, who have appeared clothed to diverse attire. If the wilt observe with discriminating eyes, thou wilt behold them all abiding in the same tabernacle, soaring in the same heaven, seated upon the same throne, uttering the same speech, and proclaiming the same faith. Such is the unity of thus essence of being, thus luminaries of infinite and immeasurable splendor. That means Baha'u'llah says that uh, maybe we think that prophet is different. Uh, we, uh, if we look them, they're born in that different places. Their language is different, but their teaching was same. Suppose Baha'u'llah says it, but if we look at the Quran, in Quran chapter 2 verses 285, they are called La nufarriku baina ahadim min rusul. That means we make no distinction between any of his messengers. So actually the core teachings of all the religion, not only Baha'i religion, all the religion, the core teaching is that religion is one, mankind is one, and God is one. That teaching we are want to spreading, that teaching we are want to spreading all over the world. And in Bangladesh also we are trying to spreading this teaching from child to adult.
I was muted all this time, wasn't I? Some of you could have said something. Y'all did not have to pretty much stay silent, but that's okay. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Rahim, for your insight. I really do appreciate you pretty much being on the show right now. As you mentioned, it's all about believing in one God. It's all about the one direction that we're all headed to. It's all about making sure we keep that in mind, and that's great. It's amazing, and it definitely shows a lot of similarities with the other Baha'i communities around the world. But I'm going to move on with this. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Rahim. I'm now going to go on over to our next guest of honor here right now, Mr. Hushman Badi. Hi, Mr. Hushman. How are you doing right now? A very good evening, or is it good morning, or am I supposed to say good afternoon, or am I supposed to bid you good night right after this?
Almost end of the evening.
Almost into the evening. So good night then.
I live in Scotland, part of Britannia.
Right, beautiful place.
So, yeah, and thank you very much, Abid. Wonderful program. I heard a
Thank you
lot
for being here.
about your Relax Radio, and thank you for inviting us.
You'll definitely hear a lot more in the future, but of course, while you're here, Mr. Hushman, please do go ahead and tell us, how's it like in Scotland right now? What's going on? I mean,
well,
beautiful, huh?
A couple of days we had sun, again today raining, but is okay. But compared to countries like Canada, which is very cold, and some other places, we are very happy here. Very, very nice place, especially from a social point of view, is a beautiful country. Yes.
I mean, that's always what anybody has to say about Scotland. I mean, you can't really say anything else about Scotland, right? It's a beautiful country. But I want to ask you a personal question. So I did ask Mrs. Sohana, I asked Mr. Rahim on what the Baha'i community has done for, the community right now. I want to go ahead and ask you, as we celebrate the birth of the Bab and Baha'u'llah, the twin holy days, what does it mean to you? And how has it pretty much changed your life right now? I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of wisdom to share.
Yes,
Please
yes.
do.
Thank you, Abid. This is a good question. You see, for me, it is not only the birth of Baha'u'llah and the Bab. It is about the birth of all prophets of God. Because we are, although celebrating today the birth of the Bab and Baha'u'llah, but we should remember that if the Bab and Baha'u'llah brought good messages for us, other prophets of God also brought good messages for us. So in fact, for me, the birth of Moses and Jesus and Muhammad and the Bab and Baha'u'llah should be celebrated by all humanity, because they are representing the God. They bring a message from God. If they bring a good news, a good message from us, for us, then the humanity should celebrate. So at this time, because the tools of interconnection and globalization is created, I believe that the birth of Baha'u'llah should not be celebrated only by Baha'is. It should be celebrated actually for the humanity, by the humanity, because Baha'u'llah brought for us the message of love and unity, not only for the Baha'i community, but for the entire human race. So for me, the birth of all prophets should be celebrated by all humans.
Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Lots more fun to come your way. I hope all of you who are watching us right now are having a great time. Of course, we'll be right back with more exclusive insights from our chief guests for today. Stay tuned in as we talk more to Mr. Sohana, Mr. Rahim, and Mr. Husman as we celebrate the birth of the Bahab and Baha'u'llah. But for now, do not forget that you are tuned in to Relax Media right here on Relax Radio and Relax TV. And make sure you do not go anywhere because we have nothing but absolute fun coming your way. So in the meantime, don't forget to make sure you also go ahead and be a part of the show. Don't forget to make sure you go ahead and follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok. We're pretty much wherever you want us to be, and we'll be there. Make sure you stay tuned in. We'll be right back after a few seconds, and to be honest, I'm actually going to give you a small countdown. You'll know exactly when we're back. Stay tuned in. Get more into understanding what's going on. Of course, if you can hear me, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Hope you're having a great time. We're here with our exclusive guests once again. We do have Mr. Suhana Akhan, Mr. Rahim Sarwar, and Mr. Hushman Badi. Now, remember, if you are watching us right now, you have to subscribe to all of our channels. You have to make sure you subscribe to pretty much everything that we're on every social media platform, because in case you did miss this live broadcast, you can always make sure you go ahead and keep following us as we keep you up to date with what's hot and what's not. But what's hot is the fact that we're here celebrating the birth of the Bahab and the Baha'u'llah. Now, we did have Mr. Suhana, who shared a very exclusive prayer with us, which was absolutely beautiful. We had Mr. Rahim also share a couple of quotes and understandings and, if I may say so, sayings from the Bahai community. But we are yet to pretty much get an understanding from Mr. Hushman Badi, where we left things off with last time, on something he could share to our listeners regarding the Bahai community. So, hi once again, Mr. Hushman. Hope we did not keep you waiting for too long. I know we left things off before, and we're here back again. Mr. Hushman, I have to ask you. Now, like I said, Mrs. Suhana, she did share a prayer with us. Mr. Rahim, he did go ahead and share quotes with us, sayings from the Bahai community. But is there any teaching that stands out to you and something that you would like to pretty much make sure is passed down to not just the Bahai community, but to everybody around the world right now?
Well, I think the new teachings that said in a prayer by Suhana and Rahim, I have to mention a bit that although they are from the Baha'i writings, but it doesn't mean that the other prophets did not talk about that. The difference is that humans forget things. And it doesn't mean that Moses and Jesus and Muhammad did not talk about peace and love. They also talked about that. But we as humans, we forget things. And that's what God knows, that humans are forgetting, and therefore sending new messenger, new prophets to remind us about the love and unity and fellowship that other prophets mentioned, to remind us. And for me today, because we are living in a global community and tools and instruments are available to create unity, therefore for me, the concept of unity or oneness of humankind can be one of the most important things that Baha'is are working towards that. Now, remember, a lot of people that listening to us and listening to me right now may say that this is very idealistic. They use the term utopian, that this concept of unity and oneness of human being is utopian, is idealistic, but is not practical. I want to say here that Baha'i community is working towards that to make it practical. How we do that? There are short-term and long-term plans. The long-term plans are given by Baha'u'llah in his writings for at least 1,000 years. For example, universal peace, the equality of man and woman, independent investigation of truth, the fact that science and religion should be equal. These are some of the teachings that require term, longer plan to achieve. However, we also have short-term plans that are given by Baha'i institution on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly and annual basis, starting from children, families, and the community. So it is not that Baha'is only talk about oneness and unity. We have the tools and we are working towards that. So this is the difference that we should know, that what is going on in the Baha'i community. Today, as we are celebrating the birth of the Bab and Baha'u'llah, I attended the meeting in our own community here, which was this is a small community of about 30 Baha'is. And this community celebrated with children. This particular program was organized for children. So for me and for the Baha'i community, the practical way to establish peace and unity in the long run, we have to start with children. Instead of top-down planning that usually happen in the world by governments and politicians, the Baha'i community starts from bottom-up planning with children. They are the children today that we teach them that there are no such things as enemies. We are all friends. This is the way that children should grow up. And with this attitude, with this mentality, when children grow up, they will be the leaders of society. They work towards peace and unity and oneness. So that is my experience where I lived in a number of countries and lived there, is that to solve any problem in the long run, today we have to start with children.
Well, it definitely makes sense. You need to make sure you instill the right kind of teachings from a very young age. And I'd love to agree with you on that, Dr. Badi. But the thing is, I do agree with the fact that, there's nothing better or nothing more innocent than a child's or a children's or, a little one's innocence or portrayal of the world. There's no racism in their heads. There's no hate in their minds. There's no anger in their hearts. It's all pure love. And it's just the world that pretty much, goes ahead and makes it what it is as we, head on to the future. But, of course, thank you so much for your insight, for your teachings, Mr. Badi. Before we move on, I'd like to divert all of your attention to a quick video that we'd like to share by Ali Yousefi. I really hope I said his name right, but yes, Ali Yousefi does have a video. I'd like to do is make sure you stay tuned in right here on Relax. Remember, this is very insightful. You do learn a lot about the Baha'i community. You do learn a lot about how the world works right now and how the world could use a lot more Baha'i teachings in their lives and just spread love. Stay tuned in. You're right here on Relax Media.
Forgive me, oh my Lord, for every mention but the mention of thee, for every praise but the praise of thee, for every delight but delight in thy nearness, for every pleasure
but the pleasure of communion
with thee,
for every joy
but the joy of thy love and of thy good pleasure. For all things pertaining unto me, which bear no relationship unto thee, O thou who art the Lord of Lords, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors, O thou who art the Lord of Lords, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors, O thou who art the Lord of Lords, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors, O thou who art the Lord of Lords, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors, O thou who art the Lord of Lords, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors, O thou who art the Lord of Lords, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors, he who provideth the means and unlocketh the doors.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Wow. Is it just me, or like does anyone else feel a lot more amazing right now after listening to that? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just me. Actually, you know what? I feel like it's not just me. Everybody around the world watching it right now, listening, I know you feel exactly the way I feel right now. Hi, once again, welcome to an exclusive edition of Relaks Radio, Relaks Media, Relaks TV, where you're in from right now. In case you didn't know, my name's Abid. I'm with you right here with our exclusive guest for today. We do have Mrs. Sohana, Mr. Rahim, and Mr. Husman. I hope I got everybody's names right, as always. But without further ado, I think it's time we went into some a lot of questions. We went into some rapid fire with Mrs. Sohana. Hi, Mrs. Sohana. How are you doing right now? Could you please go ahead and tell me a little bit about what we just heard? That was a prayer, or that was a song, that was a worship. I'd like to understand more about what, I mean, yes, I did understand what the whole basis of it was, but I'd like to know more about Ali Yusefi and who is he within the Baha'i community. Thank you.
He is a very well-known singer, and he does produce a lot of music in the Baha'i community. I believe he's based in California, from what I understand. He, for example, this song, "Forgiveness," it touches a lot of people's soul. I know it touches me especially because we know God is present. God is here. He's giving us the avenues to search for answers. And no matter what, He is ever present with us. He's omniscient, He's all powerful, and He's all merciful. And so, forgiveness, in this sense, we're looking at is we have all these problems in the world. We've got war, but we also have peace. And God has told us, through Baha'u'llah, He has told us that we do have answers, and we have the means. So those means are answers, and you have to seek the guidance. In our holy writings, it states that. In the Quran, it states that. In the Bible, it states that. You really have to delve deeper into that. So I think for Ali Yusufi, he just touches a lot of souls, and he's very, very popular here. And I think his message is very powerful. So, yeah.
I most definitely felt the power over here as well. I mean, just by listening to it just now, I understood that this is not an ordinary song or an ordinary worship prayer that was simply made to, get it done. It definitely did have a lot to say within it. You did say that, okay, so all of you guys are in the States for some reason, huh? Like everyone's just in California. We had Lauren just now from New Mexico, and we have you as well. So it's crazy that, all of you are so close to each other. It goes to show that y'all can definitely, do a lot of change if y'all really wanted to, which is what I'm sure you're working on right now.
Yeah.
But Ali Yusefi, I mean, he's, okay, now, the youth of today, like Dr. Buddy he also mentioned, the youth of today, they basically need a lot given to them in a very little time. You get what I'm saying? Like, the youth of today are very impatient. They're not what, your generation used to be or what my generation used to be. It's a whole new generation right now. And the youth these days are very easily distracted. Don't you agree on that? They're very distracted,
They
right?
are, but they also have the power to make the change. One of the things we have here is a program. It's called the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program. It is open to every youth of a certain age, or junior youth of a certain age, and they have the opportunity to provide different types of services. They learn about the different virtues of God. Recently, we had one where they learned about love. We have different communities here. We've got communities from Africa. We've got the Hispanic community. We've got, the American community as well, and of different religions, different faiths, and they are connected by unity and love. And so the Junior Youth Empowerment, Spiritual Empowerment Program is that opportunity for them to delve deeper into what the avenues are that they can take to support the world, to make it a better place. And so it's the spiritual qualities they develop. And I think that's quite important, especially in the world that we live in today. There are so many distractions, and yes, they can deviate. However, these programs that we have, that we as Baha'is have produced and formed, gives them the opportunity to grow and help their community, the society, the world. And every youth has different capabilities. Their capacities are different, and that's what makes them very unique. And they do form our community, and they're the next generation. They're the ones who are going to make a difference in the next world. So, we are here for a short period of time, and we need to pass down the message. So the Spiritual Empowerment Program is very, very popular here. And it's not just in this country. It expands everywhere in this world. So that is the avenue I would say they are going to in order to make society much better. So it's not that, okay, there might be a focus where, there's war, there's not enough peace, but what can we do to make a change? And that's what we instill in them, is that there's love, there's a community of virtues, different virtues, truthfulness, honesty, justice. These are all things that we teach them. And again, they are the next generation. They will make the world much better than it is now.
I really do hope so, because at the rate the world's going at right now, I think you understand exactly what I'm saying. Just one last question. The youth of nowadays, the people who we actually look up to, not look up to rather, who we look forward to taking over the world one day, they're a lot more difficult to convince. They're a lot more harder to get on the side of things like religion, things like faith, things like belief. They're all distracted. We do have media to obviously blame for part of that, but then again, it's how you use media. But they're all distracted, right, Mr. Sohana? They're distracted with worldly things that will not matter in the hereafter. And getting them out of that and getting them towards a cause that's righteous is very difficult, if I may say so. So youth programs, getting them to do and provide services will definitely help. But to someone who's watching right now and who doesn't have faith in the one, who doesn't have faith in a religion, and someone who's looking for a little bit of guidance but not really asking for help either, what would you let that person know? And how do you think the Baha'i community could, of course, go ahead and help them improve? Thank you very much.
I think the best way to find that enlightenment is to focus on virtues. Focus on virtues, because every individual in the junior youth, they have virtues that they develop, their capacities develop. So to change their perspective and try to focus on more spirituality, I think virtues are a wonderful way to focus, and that will open different pathways for them. I would say that is probably the best course of action in terms of really engaging them, connecting them to a higher power, even if they feel lost, because I think that is the most important part of their lives, because they are transitioning from childhood to junior youth and then eventually will become youth. So these programs, like Ed mentioned, the spiritual empowerment programs, are great ideas, and we need to reach out to the wider community, to our local authorities, because this will allow them to grow even more.
Words, and thank you so much as always, Mrs. Sohana, for pretty much gracing us with your wisdom. But we do have a prayer that I think we need to share with everybody watching right now. We will get into that prayer very shortly, but I do feel like we need to have a little bit more conversation with Mr. Rahim. Hello, Mr. Rahim. How are you doing over there? How's the Bangladesh weather looking right now? You seem to be staring at the screen quite intensely, so I'm going to presume that you did obviously go ahead and catch on to every single word that was said here today. But but like I was saying, Mr. Rahim, what I'd also like you to go ahead and share with your listeners now, when it comes to the people of Bangladesh, it's a different kind of background. It's a different kind of culture. It's a different kind of upbringing, if I may say so. It differs from country to country. And like Dr. Badi said, in Scotland, they're pretty much doing whatever they can to instill those teachings and, like Mrs. Sohana said, those virtues from a very young age. What is going on at Bangladesh right now? Is it youth camps? Is it activations? Is it events? How is it that the Baha'i community is making sure they do go ahead and put that message within their minds from a very young age? I really hope you understood me, and I really hope I wasn't too fast just now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Shohana was talking about the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program, and that program also happening in Bangladesh, and I want to share about that some elements of that program. Suppose, what is Junior Youth Empowerment Program? Suppose we have some books, we read together, we study together, we discuss together, and we learn from there. And then we have service projects. Suppose what we learn, that we want to implement in our life. Suppose our junior youth, uh, they want to serve their community. Suppose in a place where they live, maybe they live in a village or maybe they live in a city, wherever they live, they want to serve. So the junior youth program, actually the junior youth program run by animators. We call animators. Suppose who conduct this group of junior youth, we call him or her animator. And animator, he or she takes a training. We have an animator training. So after training, uh, a boy or a girl, he or she become animator. So animator actually help the junior youth to empower them. So when they study, they learn, and they feel we have to do something for our community. So they themselves uh, make their project, service projects. What kind of service projects they do? Suppose, in my experience, I had one junior youth group. They finished. They now youth. So when they were junior youth, they take a service project for uh, educating uh, the children of their neighborhood. Suppose it was under Dhaka City Corporation, but it is a backward place. There are many underprivileged people live there. So there are many children. Uh, their parents do not have money to tutoring their children after school. So the children did not get well education. So our uh, junior youth of our group, they take a service project. They listed some child, one to three levels, and they collect them and they teach them. They help them their class study. So it is one kind of service. Another kind of service project, uh, they uh, suppose old people in their neighborhood, they have many kinds of problem, so they talk with them what help they need. So this kind of service project our junior youth uh, can do. And what kind of learning they learn. Suppose I want to share another quote from Abdul Baha. Abdul Baha is the elder son of Baha'u'llah and only explainer and exemplar of Bahai faith. He said about religion one thing I want to share, and that is again the principle, basic principle of the Baha'i faith, oneness of religion. But he said it another way. He said the teaching of the prophets is one. That means teaching of the all the prophets is one. And he says one faith, one divine light shining throughout the world. That means faith is one, and the one divine light. That means uh, the light of all the religion, the teachings of all the religion is one divine light shining throughout the world. So he says now, that means nowadays, now under the banner of the oneness of humanity, all people of creeds should turn away from prejudice. That means all people, whatever religion, whatever race, whatever caste they belongs, they should turn away from where? From prejudice. What kind of prejudice? Religious prejudice, political prejudice, many kind of prejudice we live. So we all have turn away from the prejudice, basically, especially the prejudice of religion. So, and what to do? Become friends and believers in all the prophets. That means Bahai should, and not only Bahai, every people.
I was actually really pretty finished because you were going on telling us about how you need to make sure you just get rid of religious prejudice. Just
Yeah.
forget about it and it's done. Ah, Mr. Rahim, I would love to live in that head of yours right now because I know for a fact that it's easier said than done. Like I said, it's easier said than done. But of course, it all it takes is just one person to change the world, and I really do admire your courage, your resilience towards making sure that we spread the message of love. But then again, we are here celebrating the birth of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah. Thank you so much for your words, Mr. Rahim. I'd like to get into a quick prayer as we head towards the end of this show. Once again, don't forget that you are now locked on to Relaks Media, the one and only. You can go ahead and download our app. You can listen to us live from wherever you are in the world. You can follow us on social media. We're on every single platform. You think it, we're on it. And in the meantime, don't forget that you are exclusively locked in with us on a very special segment for the Bahai community. If you're watching in right now, hi, we are about to step into a quick prayer. Make sure you stay tuned in.
Blessed is the sport and the house and the place and the city and the heart and the mountain and the refuge and the cave and the valley and the land and the sea and the island and the meadow where mention of God hath been made, and his praise glorified.
Real quick, and we are back right here on Relax Media. Once again, welcome. And we're nearing the end of today's show, but I would love to hear some controversy, something to make sure that you guys go ahead and talk about this with the rest of the community. Be like, hey, did you know that the Bahai community actually spoke about this? Well, we're actually speaking about everything you need to know and so much more right here, only on Relax Media. But without further ado, our guests for today, once again, are Mr. Suhana Khan, Mr. Rahim Sarwar, and as well as Mr. Usman Badi. Doctor, how are you doing right now?
Good. Thank
Did I
you.
catch you by surprise? I hope
Thank
not.
you. Beautiful prayers, beautiful song. Thank you very much.
Definitely. It's always a pleasure having you on board the show right here with us today. And in a country like Scotland, I don't really think, correct me if I'm wrong, but is there any turmoil taking place within your country right now? Or is it mostly just peace that you're thankfully experiencing?
Well, peace is relative. Scotland also has their own problems, but relatively compared to a lot of countries, is a very peaceful country. Yes.
Alhamdulillah, yes.
Especially some of the policies that we have in relation to education, in relation to health, that these two are free for all citizens of this area. So people enjoying free education, free health. People are very friendly, loving people.
Taken care of.
And this is what we want in a community. We want more love, more fellowship, good policies, good government, and these are we have in Scotland. But adding to some of the issues you mentioned, Abid, and
Yes,
if
please.
allow me, I just say a few words about that. And you talked about especially youth. Um, you know, Sohana mentioned that youth are the future of our communities, of our societies. But unfortunately, youths don't see a good model for their future. Remember that our children and our youth and younger generation are in front of computer. Many hours, they are in front of computer and they know what is going on in the world. So they are looking for a good model of economics, a good model of politics, a good model of good institutions, a good model of government, and they don't find this. And because we don't have a good model of life for the future, many of them are confused and they don't know what are their plans for the future. So once again, uh, the Baha'i community try to create a model of good life, not only for the younger generation, but also for families, for adults, for policymakers. And that's what the Baha'i community suggests, that look at the Baha'i model and see if it's acceptable for a good model of life for everyone in the future, and just do a research. And and the information are online. What are the model of a good government? What is the good model of education? What is the good model of a family life? These are all the models that are offered and suggested in the Baha'i writings. And I suggest that your listeners and friends, if they are interested to find out a good model, just look at the Baha'i writings if the Baha'i community can be considered as a good model for life. Uh,
As always, you guys just love listening to me, speaking to silence, don't you all? But as I'd like to add to what you said, Mr. Dr. Brady, the Baha'i community, from what I've learned at least, unfortunately, I'm someone who's not as involved with the Baha'i community as I'd like to be. But over the past 2-3 years, from what I've learned during these interviews, the Baha'i community truly does set a really great standard, a really good standard on what the future generations can look forward to. And if I'm not mistaken, what you're saying is a lot could be improved on. Am I right? Or are you saying that there's not enough that's being done for the future generation to look forward to? Please
but
do listen.
there is always room for improvement. Even as a Baha'i, I say that I am trying to be a good Baha'i. You know, I am. I mean, the Baha'i community is improving, but also we have to remember that we have the Baha'i institutions to guide us. And one thing I have to say here, that the Baha'i faith is the only religion that does not have a religious leader. We do not have a religious leader. What we have is Baha'i institutions. The activities and programs of the Baha'i community is going through a system of consultation and making decision making. So it is the Baha'i institution at the local level, at the national level, and at the international level that guiding Baha'i community how to achieve the oneness of humanity. And therefore, if you, Abid, go to more than 180 countries that Baha'is live, and go to any Baha'i community and ask a Baha'i, what is the goal of the Baha'i faith? They tell you unity of the community, unity of mankind. Therefore, all the teachings of the Baha'i faith are tools to achieve the oneness of humanity. And we are working on a daily basis, on a weekly, monthly, annual basis to achieve it. So unity for us is not just um, uh, a word. It is something that we are working towards that actively from children all the way to the adult man and woman. And also I have to mention a bit that uh, remember that this concept of unity was mentioned by all prophets of God. You know, let me add to this that the, the religion of God, the religions and faiths have a monopoly. Monopoly is that God is one. If God is one, religion cannot be two. Therefore, religions should not compete with each other. So the goal of all these prophets of God was unity of humankind, but it came in stages.
I guess
Moses,
that's where. Sorry, please go on, my friend. I have a
yeah,
bad habit of interrupting people.
yeah, that Moses did his part, Jesus did his part, Muhammad his part, and now Baha'u'llah time. So they're all working together. For me, prophets of God are the best model of team working. They did an excellent team working. So there is no monopoly. There is a monopoly in religion. So if God is one, religion is one, but with many names. In order for myself to understand that, I do the analogy of God is one, religion is one, and therefore there is only one book of God. And this book of God has many chapters. And every religion has one of these chapters. Now we have the latest chapter, not the last chapter, the latest chapter. And Baha'u'llah is writing the latest chapter. So this is my understanding from religion, that religion is progressive. Religions are changing according to the capacity and ability of human being, and it must be repeated again and again and again.
Wise words indeed, Dr. Badi. Thank you so much. I mean, like you said, religions have the monopoly. You can't really be divided by having two different religions and having two different people, two different leaders, and all that. It's all. It's. I was like I unfortunately interrupted you before with. I was going to say, even religion has been monetized in this day and age, and somewhere along the lines, humanity did lose their way. Well, at least certain parts of humanity. There's still the Bahai community trying to make sure they come out on top. But of course, thank you so much for your wise words. We do have to wrap things up on the show. We have been here for over an hour. Thank you so much once again to everybody who's been here. I guess I'd like to go ahead and ask each of our guests to go ahead and share. I mean, we didn't talk too much about the Baha'i community today. We did go ahead and speak a lot. We did go ahead and speak a lot about what's going on in the world right here, right now. How there has to be more love. There has to be more understanding. There has to be more compassion. Most importantly, how there has to be more humanity between you and I. And it's great that we did touch on that today. If you did tune in on any of our previous segments, we spoke a lot about the Baha'i community, a lot about the birth of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah. And if you do go ahead and check out our previous broadcasts, I'm sure you'll find everything you need to know and so much more on that. But before we go, I guess we'd have to get a few more words, a last few words from our guest today on what exactly they're going to do to go ahead and celebrate tomorrow. Or did I get the dates right? Let's go ahead and start with Mr. Rahim. Mr. Rahim, I think I just got a quick, I heard Mr. Sohana screaming at me from all the way from the States saying that it's today. It's today, it's today. Yes, it's today. Hi, Mr. Rahim, what are y'all doing to celebrate today?
So today we are praying. Of course, prayer is one of the part of our celebration. We are remembering the teachings of the Bab and Baha'u'llah, and also we are preparing ourselves to implement the teachings of the Baha'u'llah and Bab in our life, in our society, in our current country, and in all the world.
Sweet and simple, I see. Making sure you go ahead and spread the prayers, making sure you spread the oneness, spread the love. But then again, I'm sure everybody watching in right now, if you're tuning in from Bangladesh, don't just, make it a part where you simply talk about it or just say about it or just share a story on Instagram or Facebook about it. No. Go out there and look for somebody that needs your help. On a day like today, on a special day like today, a little bit of kindness would most definitely go a long way. Am I right, Mr. Rahim?
Yes.
All righty then. Thank you so much, Mr. Rahim. I'd like to go on to Mr. Dr. Badi. Dr. Badi, could you please go ahead and tell us what kind of celebrations are the Scottish people pretty much looking forward to when it comes to the celebration of the birth of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah, or at least within the Bahai community?
What we are going to do tomorrow, which there are a number of meetings, but my wife and myself, we are going to visit some older Baha'is in the community who are not able to attend these meetings. So we are going to their home, have some tea and coffee, and sweets, and celebrating the birth of the Baba and Baha'u'llah at their home. But also, Abid, if you allow me, I just mentioned that, with this COVID-19 that we had, it was a good experience for us that human beings have good qualities. We all can be good people. We are created good, and therefore we can show good, good things from ourselves. And in fact, COVID-19 is a good example that humanity as a whole has the capacity, has the ability to work together and create this oneness or unity of humankind. I just mentioned 3 of the statements that are mentioned by people of the world during this COVID-19. For example, people said that we are all in this together. This is during the crisis of COVID-19. Or, for example, people said we want tomorrow to be better than yesterday. And one else, they said that the dream of becoming connected is becoming a reality. So for me, Abid, the experience of COVID-19 shows that we all have the ability to become a better person, to work together, to cooperate and create this unity. And I hope that will occur as early as possible.
That's very true. That's very true, Dr. Badi. Thank you. COVID-19 did, in fact, bring a lot of people together. It did, in fact, drive a lot of people away from each other as well. But then again, that's where what you just said comes into play. That's where you make the effort to actually spread the love. You make the effort to actually find that peace and that happiness within yourself.
Thank you very much, Abid.
Thank you so much, Dr. Badi. And of course, last but definitely not least, I'm sure we're ready to pretty much go ahead and share her words of inspiration with us, Mrs. Sohana. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but of course, thank you once again for being here and for gracing us with your presence. I know you have a lot to say. Please do let us know. What are you all doing to celebrate?
I'll summarize it a bit. This
Yes,
evening, so it is about 12 o'clock here. So in about 6 hours or less, we're actually going to have a potluck dinner, live music, and
Wow.
a presentation which myself and another Bahai friend of mine, we put together. And that includes devotionals or prayers, videos from YouTube about the twin births, and then live stories about the birth of the Bab and birth of Baha'u'llah. So that'll be active, everyone engaging. And then also those who are unable to drive, we pick them up. So I just got a call, you might have seen I was talking, is because one of my close, I call her my surrogate mom. She's just a few minutes away. She asked if I can give her a ride, and absolutely, I would be happy to do that, especially when you're very local. So yeah, I mean, we're excited, we're happy, and we can't wait for dinner. So yeah.
Man,
so,
you're actually making me envy you right now. I'd love to join some Bahai community-made love with dinner, like dinner with love. Oh,
you're
if you don't mind me
always
asking.
welcome to come to the U.S. and share.
I'll be there. I'll be there in a few minutes. Just let me just catch my private jet all the way there and just spread the message of love. Of course, I'm kidding. I'd love to be there. I'd love to understand more about the culture. I'd love to be a part of it. And with time, in time, I will be. If you do have a few words to go ahead and share to everybody listening in right now, on behalf of the Bahai community, on behalf of everybody watching in, and of course, behalf of Relaks Media. Are we experiencing some sort of a technical
Yes.
difficulty right now?
Yes, I'll make it quick. So
Of course.
those who want to learn more about the Baha'i faith, we do have a worldwide website. It's Bahai, BAHAIFAITH.com. So please do help yourself to reading online about the Baha'i faith. And there should be links as well to different countries. So like for US, it's Bahai.us, and you can learn a lot more about the activities happening here in the United States. And the different states, obviously. So please do go to the website. You'll learn a lot more, all the activities, and some near you that you might want to participate. That's community-wide interfaith. So we hope you will join us, and we love to share the love and spirit of Baha'u'llah and the Baha'i faith.
Please spread that love right here on Relaks Media. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank each and every one of you here today for giving us your time, for making you go ahead and share your wisdom, share your experiences, share your thoughts, share your teachings with not just me, not just Relaks Media, but the entire world. Once again, Hana Akhand, Mr. Rahim Sarwar, and Mr. Hushman Badi, thank you for being here, and thank you for gracing us with your presence. Please go celebrate, go spread the message of love, eat to your hearts and stomach's content. I will send you my address so that you could go ahead and send some my way as well. I'd love to eat some of your delicacies. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot to look forward to, but once again, looking forward to seeing each and every one of you on our next segment with a lot more things change. I think we should, what do you guys think? Maybe perhaps we should do something different next time, where we go ahead and maybe have a game show while we do the live session instead of just talking, or maybe just get a guest like Mr. Ali Yousefi. Who knows? Could definitely work out in our favor. Thank you so much.
Great idea.
Thank you, Abhi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Have a
much.
wonderful day.
You too.
Okay.
I'm going to end things off, of course, on a very, very happy note. A note that all of you would definitely love. It's a song by Ali Yousefi. It's called One Tree. And before we get into that, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. You, yes, you. I'm looking at you right now. If you're watching, thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for being a part of the Relaks Radio, the Relaks Media community. Thank you for following and subscribing. And most importantly, thank you for being a part of this journey. Remember, we're only going up from here, and not just relax. We're going to take the whole world with us. You can be a part of it. All you have to do is make sure you stay tuned in. I'll catch you again on the next one. In the meantime, remember, we are everywhere. There's not a place that our frequencies do not pretty much transcend to. And all you have to do is make sure you stay tuned in right here on Relaks Media. Like I said, leaving you with something very special by Ali Yousefi. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, celebrating the birth of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah right here on Relaks Media. Thank you once again, and have yourselves a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night.
Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. Cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree, as the waves of one ocean, as the fruit of one tree, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here, right at the end. If you're still watching, thank you so much for being a part of everything that we have to offer right here on Relaks Media. A lot of love was shared, a lot of knowledge was definitely shared, and we hope each and every one of you had an amazing time understanding the celebration and the birth of the Bab and the Baha'u'llah. In the meantime, don't forget that we pretty much go everywhere. We are everywhere, and we will be everywhere. And all you have to do is make sure you stay tuned in, continue watching, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, on YouTube. We pretty much go everywhere. There's not a place that we can't go, okay? So, yeah, you heard what I'm saying. It's enough talk for one day, though. A very interesting segment to all of you watching from Bangladesh, from the UK, from the States. Thank you for being a part of the show, and thank you for being a part of this journey. I'll catch you again soon. Make sure you stay tuned in right here on Relaks Media, and don't you dare go anywhere.